The stars above were quiet. On the far edge of the galaxy, the Veyron Alliance watched many young species grow, stumble, and sometimes fall. They were an old race, wise and cautious. They believed knowledge should be given only when a species was ready. To test readiness, they often left small puzzles hidden in space. These puzzles were not dangerous, but they were complex, far beyond the current science of the younger races. Now it was humanity's turn. The Veyron Council gathered in their high chamber, where silver light filled the room. The council leader, a tall figure named Ruler, stood before the others. His voice was calm but filled with doubt. "Humans are curious," Ruler said. "But curiosity is not enough. We must know if they can handle what lies ahead. Place a warp engine near their system. Disable it, lock its functions, and wait. They will either ignore it, fear it, or break it." The others agreed. No young species had ever solved such a puzzle quickly. To the Veyron, it was a test that would take centuries, if not longer. With careful planning, they hid the warp engine just beyond Pluto, in the silent cold of space. To them, this was the safest place. The humans would find it only if they reached far enough. Meanwhile, Earth was busy with its own struggles. Life was full of challenges, but humans kept pushing outward. Their probes had already crossed the solar system, and their miners now searched the edges of space for resources. One such mining crew worked under the command of Arun, a pilot known for his calm nature and steady hands. He was not the most famous, but his crew trusted him. On a quiet day, Arun's sensors caught something unusual. A metallic shape floated against the dark backdrop of stars. It was too smooth, too perfect, and far too advanced to be space rock. The object glowed faintly, pulsing with light in a rhythm that made no sense to human technology. "Captain, I think we found something," said Lian, the ship's engineer. She leaned close to her screen, her eyes wide with surprise. Arun looked carefully. "It is no ship, no satellite, and not ours. Secure a scan. Keep distance until we know more." The crew worked quickly. The scans revealed patterns that looked like circuits, but unlike any they had seen. Energy moved through the object, though no fuel source was visible. The machine seemed alive, yet silent. The crew argued at first. Some said it was too risky to approach. Others believed it was a discovery that could change history. Arun listened to every voice before making his decision. "This is not the kind of thing we leave behind," Arun said. "We bring it back. Carefully. Step by step. We do not rush. We do not break it. Humanity must see this." With great care, the mining ship attached magnetic arms to the strange device. It resisted slightly, as if protecting itself, but the crew adjusted their grip until it settled. The journey back to Earth began slowly, every move watched with both fear and excitement. On Earth, news of the object spread quickly. Scientists, engineers, and leaders gathered to see it. The world had argued for years about politics, about borders, and about resources. Yet for the first time in a long time, everyone looked in the same direction toward the stars. The object was placed inside a secure research station, surrounded by the brightest minds humanity had to offer. The first reaction was disbelief. No one had built anything close to it. The second reaction was wonder. What secrets did it hold? What new path could it open? But far above, the Veyron Alliance continued to watch. They believed humanity would fail as others had. They believed fear or pride would slow them down. They did not yet understand the stubborn heart of humankind. The test had been set. The puzzle had been placed. Now the question remained. Would humans rise to the challenge, or would they fall into the shadows like so many before? For Arun and his crew, the answer was simple. They had found something extraordinary, and they would not let it go. To them, it was not just an alien machine. It was a chance to prove what humanity could do when given the impossible. And so, the hidden gift of the Veyron now rested in human hands, waiting to reveal a story that would change the stars forever. The research station around Earth was alive with activity. The strange object from the edge of the solar system rested inside a sealed chamber of glass and steel. Powerful lights shone upon it, and endless screens recorded its every movement. To some, it looked like a piece of art, smooth and flawless, with lines that glowed faintly. To others, it looked like a secret waiting to be unlocked. Arun and his crew had been welcomed back as heroes, though they did not feel like heroes. Arun himself stood quietly in the observation deck, watching scientists gather around the chamber. He thought of the long journey, the careful grip of the mining ship, and the silent hum that seemed to come from the machine. It felt alive in a way he could not explain. Lian, the engineer, stood beside him. "Do you think we will ever understand it?" she asked softly. Arun kept his eyes on the glowing lines. "If we do not try, we will never know. Humanity has always learned by touching what was beyond reach. Fire, the wheel, the engine, the rocket. This is only the next step." Inside the chamber, scientists in white suits worked carefully. They scanned every surface, measuring energy flows, and noting down each detail. The machine was about the size of a small car, shaped like a cylinder with smooth edges. Symbols covered its outer shell, glowing faintly, as if alive with light. No one could read the symbols, yet they repeated in a pattern that suggested purpose. Dr. Rana, one of the lead scientists, spoke during the first briefing. Her voice carried both excitement and caution. "We are looking at technology far beyond us. This object uses energy fields we do not understand. But it is not hostile. It has not harmed anyone. Our task is simple: observe, learn, and respect it." For weeks, teams studied the device. They tried every method of scanning: X-rays, magnetic fields, even sound waves. Each test revealed something new, yet raised more questions. The machine's surface healed itself when scratched. The inner parts shifted like liquid when probed, then hardened again. It was as if the machine did not want to be opened, yet did not resist too strongly. At night, Arun often returned to the observation deck. He felt a strange bond with the device, as if bringing it back had tied his fate to it. Sometimes he imagined it was watching him too, though it gave no sign. One evening, while the lights in the station dimmed, something unexpected happened. The glowing symbols pulsed in a steady rhythm. The chamber filled with a faint humming sound, soft and calm, almost like music. Scientists rushed in, alarms flashing, but the machine remained still. The lights continued their rhythm before fading back into silence. "What was that?" Lian asked, her voice filled with wonder. Dr. Rana answered slowly. "It is communicating. Not with words, but with signals. It knows we are here." The news spread quickly. Across Earth, people spoke of the discovery. Some were afraid, fearing it was a weapon. Others were hopeful, believing it was a gift. Leaders argued, but the scientists insisted that the object must remain in study, not in war. For the first time in years, nations agreed to cooperate fully. This was too important to fight over. Arun and his crew were invited to join the study as observers. They were not scientists, but their experience with the machine was valuable. During one of the meetings, Dr. Rana asked Arun what he thought the device meant. He answered with care. "It was not left by chance. Someone wanted us to find it. Maybe it is a test. Maybe it is a message. Whatever it is not something to fear. If it wished to harm us, it would have done so already." The room was silent after his words. Many nodded. The thought that the device might be a test gave them both fear and motivation. Over the next months, progress came slowly. Small breakthroughs were made. One scientist discovered that the energy field around the machine was not only stable but adaptable. It shifted based on the environment, keeping itself safe. Another discovered that the glowing symbols matched certain patterns in human mathematics, though far more advanced. Each new discovery pulled humanity deeper into the mystery. Meanwhile, far away, the Veyron Alliance continued to watch. From their hidden ships, they observed every human step. They expected humans to fail, as others had. Yet what they saw troubled them. Humans were not fighting over the machine. They were not fearful for long. Instead, they were united, driven by curiosity and determination. Riller, the council leader, spoke in private. They are moving faster than we thought. Curiosity alone does not explain this. They are building together, across nations. They are treating the unknown as a challenge, not a threat. Another council member replied with worry. If they solve it, they will change the balance of the stars. Are we ready for such a species back on Earth? The scientists made a choice. They decided to begin carefully opening parts of the machine. It was risky, but they believed it was time. They planned every step with patience. No move was rushed. Arun stood by the glass as they prepared. He could feel history unfolding before his eyes. Humanity had reached beyond its own limits, and now it was touching something greater. The machine pulsed again, as if it knew what was coming. The lights grew brighter, steady, and calm, like a heartbeat. And so, the first contact with the machine truly began not with words, but with trust, patience, and the courage to take the next step. The chamber was silent as the scientists prepared their tools. The strange machine from the edge of the solar system rested in the center, glowing softly as if aware of what was about to happen. For months, humanity had studied it from the outside, testing fields, patterns, and energy pulses. Now the time had come to open it. Dr. Rana stood at the head of the team. Her face showed calm, but her eyes carried the weight of the moment. Around her, engineers and technicians set up scanners, cutters, and recording systems. Every move was planned in detail, every action checked twice. No one wished to damage the object. We begin with respect, Rana said firmly. This is not ours. It was given or left for us. We will treat it as a guest, not a prize. Arun and Lian stood behind the glass wall, watching. They had been invited again, not as scientists but as witnesses. The machine felt like part of their journey, and their presence reminded the team why this discovery mattered. Arun leaned closer to the glass, studying the faint lines that glowed across the machine's surface. It seemed calm, almost waiting. The first step was simple. A robotic arm touched the outer shell with a soft probe. To everyone's surprise, the surface rippled like water, then settled again. Energy readings spiked for a moment before returning to normal. It is responding, whispered one technician. Dr. Rana nodded. Then we proceed gently. The robotic arm pressed again, this time using a microcutter. The blade touched the surface, and for a brief second, the material opened like a seam. A faint line appeared, glowing brighter than before. Gasps filled the room as the machine allowed the opening. Inside, they saw layers of crystal-like structures. They shimmered with colors that shifted with every angle. Tiny streams of energy flowed between them like rivers of light. The sight left even the most experienced scientists speechless. It is alive, one whispered. Not alive, Rana corrected, though her own voice shook with wonder. But it is designed to adapt, to heal, to move like something alive. This is engineering beyond us. For weeks, the team worked to disassemble the machine layer by layer. Each part revealed new mysteries. There were no wires, no circuits, no engines as humans knew them. Instead, energy seemed to flow naturally, shaped by the design of the crystals and patterns. The deeper they went, the more it became clear this was not just a machine. It was a system, a network, and perhaps even a form of knowledge written in matter itself. Arun often visited, spending hours watching the progress. He did not understand the science, but he understood the feeling. Humanity had been handed a key, though the door it opened was still hidden. One evening, Lian joined him at the observation deck. "They say it bends space," she told him. "Not just power, not just fuel. It changes the shape of space itself. That is how it travels so far." Arun nodded slowly. "And now we are learning to do the same." Far away, in the dark reaches of space, the Veyron Alliance monitored everything. Their hidden sensors recorded human progress. When reports reached the Council, many could not believe the speed of discovery. "No species has reached this point so quickly," one Council member said in alarm. Riller, the leader, frowned. "They are not just studying. They are improving. They see patterns we never expected them to see. What takes others centuries, they do in months. They do not stop when they fail. They try again until they succeed." Another voice, filled with unease, added, "If they unlock the full device, they will not only use it, they will build more." What then? The Council grew silent. Humanity was proving different from the others. Where fear or pride had slowed many species, humans moved forward with determination. The test was becoming more than a test. Back on Earth, the disassembly reached the heart of the machine. In the center lay a crystal sphere, glowing brighter than the rest. It pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and calm. Every sensor showed incredible energy, yet controlled, balanced, and safe. Dr. Rana stood before the final step. "This is the core," she said. "The source of power, and perhaps the secret to warp itself. We must study it with the greatest care. If we damage it, all will be lost. If we understand it, humanity will never be the same." The team agreed. No one rushed. They built new tools just for this part. Slowly, with patience and precision, they lifted the sphere from its chamber. The lights in the room flickered as if the machine itself was watching. But there was no resistance. The sphere floated gently in its cradle, as if accepting the hands of its new keepers. At that moment, everyone felt the same thought. This was more than discovery. This was history. Arun placed his hand on the glass, watching the glowing sphere. "We have taken it apart," he whispered. "Now comes the harder task. To put it back together, and to understand why it was given." The words carried through the station. The journey had moved from curiosity to responsibility. Humanity was no longer just looking at the stars. Humanity was reaching into them. And the machine, silent yet alive with light, had opened the first path. The crystal sphere from the machine's core rested in a special containment chamber, surrounded by layers of shielding and scanners. It glowed gently, filling the room with a calm light that never faded. Scientists studied it day and night, but the more they learned, the more mysterious it became. Dr. Rana stood in the control room, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across the screens. "The energy inside this core is stable," she explained to her team. "It is endless, yet controlled. It can power ships, cities, maybe even the whole planet if used correctly. But that is not the most surprising part. The energy is not just power. It bends space itself." Her words filled the room with quiet awe. Humanity had dreamed of faster than light travel for generations. Now, the secret was within reach. Arun, who often visited the research center, listened carefully. He was not a scientist, but he understood the weight of these discoveries. He turned to Lian, who had been helping the engineers. "If this is real, then no distance will be too far," he said. "We could reach the stars, maybe even other galaxies." Lian smiled faintly. "It feels like opening a door that was always locked. And now we are holding the key." The scientists worked in shifts, building models and testing small fragments of the machine. When they placed a shard of crystal inside a simple engine, the results shocked everyone. The shard generated a field that reduced the ship's weight, as if space itself was bending to make the journey easier. What had once taken hours now took minutes. Soon, teams from different nations collaborated, sharing every breakthrough. Rivalries faded. Engineers from distant parts of the world exchanged designs openly, eager to test new theories. Humanity, often divided, was moving forward together. Dr. Rana announced the next goal in a council meeting. We will not only study this machine. We will rebuild it. Piece by piece, we will understand how it works. And when we are ready, we will create our own. The declaration inspired both excitement and fear. Could humanity handle such power so quickly? Some argued it was too soon, but the majority believed the opportunity could not be ignored. The machine had been found for a reason, and humanity was determined to rise to the challenge. Far away, the Veyron Alliance followed every step with growing concern. Their hidden ships recorded every human test, every success, every improvement. Reports filled the council chamber with unease. Riller, the leader, stood before his people. They are not only rebuilding the warp engine. They are enhancing it. Their scientists are adding safety layers we never thought of. Their engineers are simplifying controls. They are not copying. They are improving. One council member shook his head. It is impossible. No species adapts this fast. Riller answered firmly. And yet humans are doing it. They fail, and they rise again. They do not stop. We wanted to test them, but perhaps we underestimated them. On Earth, progress quickened. Within months, a prototype human warp drive stood in a hangar, glowing with soft blue light. It was built from both alien fragments and human technology, a mix of the unknown and the familiar. The first test ship, named Hope, was prepared. Arun and Lien were invited to witness the launch. Standing on the observation deck, Arun felt his chest tighten with pride. He had been there when the machine was first found, and now he was watching humanity build something new from it. Dr. Rana addressed the team before the test. This is history. Today, humanity will attempt its first step into warp. If it succeeds, the stars will no longer be distant lights. They will be destinations. The test was simple. The ship would warp only a short distance, from one side of the solar system to the other. The countdown began. Engineers checked systems, pilots steadied their voices, and the entire world held its breath. 3, 2, 1. Activate. The Hope shimmered with light. Space around it bent, rippling like water. In an instant, the ship vanished. Gasps filled the control room. Seconds later, signals returned. The ship had reached its destination safely, traveling a distance that would normally take weeks in just a heartbeat. Cheers erupted. Scientists hugged each other, and tears filled their eyes. Humanity had done it. The impossible was now real. Arun felt his hands tremble. We did not just find their gift, he whispered. We made it our own. Lien nodded, her eyes shining. And we made it better. News spread across Earth. People filled streets in celebration. For the first time in centuries, the world felt united in hope. Children looked at the stars not as unreachable lights, but as places they might visit in their lifetimes. But beyond Earth, the Veyron Council sat in uneasy silence. Their test had gone further than expected. Humanity had not only solved the puzzle. Humanity had taken it apart, rebuilt it, and improved it in record time. Riller spoke softly, his voice carrying both respect and concern. The humans have done what no other species has done. They have shown us something we did not expect. They are not just ready for the stars. They are ready to change them. The council did not reply. Each member knew the truth. The balance of the galaxy was shifting, and the hands moving it forward were human. The test of the Hope changed everything. Humanity had touched the impossible and brought it into reality. The warp drive worked, not only as the alien machine had shown but also with human improvements. The ship had traveled across the solar system in a heartbeat, safe and stable. The event sent waves of celebration across Earth, but for the scientists, it was only the beginning. Dr. Rana and her team quickly prepared a bold plan. They would not stop at a simple test. They would build a ship strong enough to carry the new warp drive across the galaxy, beyond human borders, into the unknown. It would not be a ship of war, but a ship of peace, carrying the proof of humanity's achievement. Arun and Lian were called once again. Though they were not scientists, their role as witnesses of the first discovery made them part of this new journey. When Rana explained the mission, Arun felt both pride and responsibility. "You mean to take the warp drive back to whoever left it?" Arun said. Rana nodded. "Yes. If it was a test, then we must show we have passed it. We must return not with fear, but with respect. We will bring back the device, along with what we have built. We will show them humanity is ready." The ship was named Unity. It was larger than the Hope, built with layers of shielding, sensors, and communication systems. At its heart was the rebuilt warp engine, glowing softly, surrounded by human modifications. Engineers added safety fields, emergency controls, and backup systems. Where the original device had been complex and alien, the new design was clear, simple, and elegant. When the day of launch arrived, the whole world watched. Arun stood with Lian on the deck, gazing at the shining vessel. It looked both human and alien, a blend of two worlds. He felt a deep calm, knowing he was about to step into history once again. Dr. Rana gave the final order. "Set course for the outer edge of the Varen sector. That is where the device was placed. That is where we will return it." The warp drive activated. Light bent around the Unity, and in an instant, the stars shifted. The crew felt only a soft vibration, then silence. They had left the solar system behind and entered the great unknown. For days, the ship traveled through warp. The crew kept busy with maintenance, training, and recording data. The warp fields were stable, smoother than expected. It was as if the ship itself wanted to travel, guided by both alien design and human creativity. At last, they reached their destination. The edge of Varen space stretched before them. Their sensors picked up signals, faint but steady. Ships were waiting. The Varen Alliance had seen them coming. In the council chamber far away, R'lyeh received the report. His expression was grave. "They are here. The humans have rebuilt the engine and crossed the stars. They come not with fragments but with a ship of their own." The council was divided. Some argued that humans were dangerous, that no young race should advance so quickly. Others said this was the proof of their strength, a reason to welcome them. R'lyeh made the final call. "We will meet them. But we must know why they come." The Unity slowed as Varen ships approached. Their designs were elegant, glowing with soft light, unlike anything human eyes had seen before. A message came through, clear and direct. "This is the Varen Alliance. Human vessel, state your purpose." Arun, chosen as the speaker, stepped forward. His voice was steady as he replied. "We come with respect. We found the device you placed in our system. We studied it, we learned from it, and we rebuilt it. We return now, not to claim ownership, but to show that humanity is ready to stand among the stars." There was silence across the channel. Then the Varen voice replied, slower this time. "You took it apart. You built it again. And you improved it?" Dr. Rana spoke next, her tone calm. "We learned together as a people. Nations united, scientists worked side by side. We did not only copy. We created. And now, we return what was never truly ours, to honor those who left it." The Varen ships moved closer. To the humans, they seemed both graceful and powerful, like living light among the stars. At last, a single word came back through the channel. Approach. The Unity followed, guided into the heart of Veyron space. Arun gazed out at the view, his heart heavy with awe. We are not just visitors anymore, he whispered to Lian. We are part of something greater. When the ship entered the Great Council station, the humans carried both the original device and their improved model. The Veyron leaders awaited them, their tall figures glowing under the silver light of the chamber. Riller stepped forward, studying the humans with sharp, thoughtful eyes. You were given a puzzle, Riller said. Others failed. Others feared. You did not. You took what was hidden, and you brought it back. Why? Arun met his gaze. Because that is what it means to be human. We face the unknown not with fear, but with determination. When we are given a mystery, we do not run from it. We learn, we grow, and we return stronger. The chamber was silent. The Veyron Council, for the first time, felt something new: respect. Humanity had returned, carrying proof of its progress. And the stars, once distant, now felt within reach. The council chamber of the Veyron Alliance was vast and filled with a silver light that reflected from walls made of crystal. Humans had never seen anything like it. The floor glimmered beneath their feet, and the ceiling seemed to stretch into the stars themselves. Arun, Lian, and Dr. Rana walked slowly, carrying the rebuilt warp engine with care. Every step was measured. They felt the weight of history pressing upon them. Riller, the council leader, stood before them. His tall figure cast a long shadow, and his eyes glimmered with a mix of curiosity and caution. Around him, other council members whispered quietly. They had watched humans grow, observed every experiment, every test, every step of rebuilding the warp engine. Yet seeing them here, carrying their work boldly into Veyron space, stirred something they had never expected. You have returned, Riller said, his voice steady. And not empty-handed. You carry both the device and your own creation. Explain why you risked taking it apart. Arun stepped forward, keeping his tone calm. We did not risk taking it apart. We studied it, learned from it, and improved it carefully. We did not destroy, we explored. We believe that knowledge is not only to be found but to be understood. That is how humans grow. A council member, shorter and more cautious, spoke next. Do you understand the danger you carried? The warp engine is not meant for young races. Any error could have destroyed your planet. Dr. Rana responded, her voice firm. We understood the risks. We planned for every possibility. Humanity does not shy away from challenges. We do not wait for permission to learn, but we do respect the power we handle. Riller's eyes narrowed. Your words show confidence. But is it courage, or is it arrogance? Arun shook his head. It is neither. It is determination. Every step humans take is with care, but we do not allow fear to stop us. When faced with something we do not understand, we study, we adapt, and we act. That is how we survive, and that is how we thrive. For a long moment, the chamber was silent. The Veyron Council studied the humans closely. In their long history, they had seen many species grow proud and fall, many intelligent races fail to master challenges they did not fully understand. Yet here stood a young species, facing a puzzle meant to test them, and rising higher than expected. Another council member, older and wise, leaned forward. You have taken what we left hidden. You have not only understood it, but you have made it better. That is unprecedented. Arun nodded. We did not do this to show strength or superiority. We did it to learn, to honor the challenge, and to prove that humans can handle responsibility. Knowledge must be used wisely, not hoarded or feared. The room was tense. The Veyron Alliance had set a test, thinking it would take centuries. Yet humans had solved it in mere months. They had taken apart the machine, rebuilt it, and even improved it. It was proof not only of skill, but of unity. Humans had worked together across nations, sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it. Riller's voice softened, almost quietly. We tested you, believing you might fail. Instead, you have surpassed every expectation. You have shown patience, creativity, and respect. Perhaps we underestimated your species. Lian spoke up, her voice gentle but firm. We were given a gift. But a gift without understanding is useless. We did not claim it. We learned from it. We returned it, improved, because learning without respect is nothing. The council members exchanged looks. They had never seen such reasoning from a species so young. Most races would have taken the device, hidden it, or destroyed it out of fear or greed. Humans, however, had done something unexpected. They had listened, studied, shared, and returned it. Riller took a deep breath. Then you have passed the test. Not because you are strong, or fast, or clever, but because you understand responsibility. You have shown that humans are ready to stand among the stars as equals. Arun felt a wave of relief. The tension in his shoulders eased slightly. For years, humans had struggled to be seen as capable of reaching beyond their planet. Now, here in this alien chamber, they had proof. Dr. Rana placed her hand lightly on the warp engine. We did not take this lightly. Every step was measured, every action careful. Humans are not reckless. We are persistent. That is what makes us ready for challenges beyond our world. Riller nodded slowly, as if weighing the words. We have observed your actions. You are different from other species. You do not fear the unknown. You do not hoard knowledge. You create, and you return. That is why you are ready. The chamber remained quiet for a moment longer, but the tension had shifted. The confrontation had ended, not in anger or conflict, but in understanding. Humans had proven themselves through actions, words, and respect. The Veyron Council saw what they had underestimated, a species that could meet challenges with courage and wisdom. Arun glanced at Lian and Dr. Rana. Together, they realized that this was more than the end of a test. It was the beginning of a new chapter for humanity among the stars. The confrontation had not been about power. It had been about trust, responsibility, and the courage to act wisely. Humanity had passed, and the universe had noticed. The council chamber of the Veyron Alliance had never felt so quiet. Humans stood before the alien leaders, carrying both the original warp device and the improved version they had built. Arun, Lian, and Dr. Rana waited calmly, their hands lightly resting on the glowing machine. The air was heavy with anticipation. Riller, the council leader, moved forward. His tall form reflected the soft light of the chamber. Around him, the other council members watched closely, their expressions a mixture of curiosity, awe, and respect. For centuries, the Veyrons had tested species, expecting most to fail. Yet humans had not only solved the puzzle, they had exceeded all expectations. You have done more than we imagined, Riller said. You returned the device we left hidden, yet you did not stop there. You studied it, understood it, and improved it. You have shown a quality no other young species has demonstrated. Arun stepped forward. His voice was steady. We did not do this to show strength or superiority. We did it to learn, to grow, and to prove that humans can face challenges responsibly. Knowledge without understanding is dangerous. We have tried to honor that. The council remained silent, absorbing his words. For a long time, no one spoke. Then, a senior council member stepped forward. Your actions show more than courage or intelligence. You have shown unity, respect, and persistence. These qualities are rare in any species. We recognize that humans are ready for a place among the stars. Dr. Rana added softly, we have learned that cooperation and care can achieve what fear and secrecy cannot. Humanity has always reached beyond its limits when given a challenge. This warp engine is not just a tool. It is proof that we can meet the unknown and grow stronger. Riller nodded slowly, and his eyes softened. We tested your species to measure your ability to handle knowledge beyond your understanding. You have proven yourselves. Humanity is not reckless. You are curious, persistent, and wise. You respect what you do not fully understand. That is why we welcome you. The words filled the chamber with a sense of awe. Arun felt a quiet pride, not in himself, but in the human spirit. Every scientist, engineer, and citizen who had contributed to this moment now had their efforts recognized by a species far older and wiser than their own. Lian looked at Arun. We did it, she whispered. All of humanity did it. Riller continued, other species will observe this. They will see that humans are not just capable. They are strong in mind, in heart, and in spirit. They will know that this species, though young, cannot be underestimated. A wave of excitement spread among the humans. They had come not to demand recognition, but to return what was entrusted to them. Yet their actions had spoken louder than any words. Humanity had shown that it could handle great responsibility and could do so with unity and respect. The Veyron Council moved closer to examine the rebuilt warp engine. Each member studied it carefully. The modifications were subtle but powerful. Human improvements had simplified controls, added safety mechanisms, and optimized energy flow. It was a device that combined alien design with human ingenuity. Riller spoke again. You have not only understood the engine, but you have made it better. This is a rare achievement. Few species can take knowledge beyond its original design and improve it without destroying its essence. You have done so with care and wisdom. Arun bowed slightly. We owe this to our people. We could not have done it alone. Humanity's strength is in its unity, its curiosity, and its determination to grow without fear. The council members exchanged looks. Even the oldest and wisest among them felt respect for this young species. They had expected a test, a simple demonstration of ability. Instead, they had witnessed a display of creativity, responsibility, and moral courage. Riller stepped back and raised his hand. Let it be known throughout the galaxy, humans are ready to stand among the stars. They have shown that intelligence, respect, and persistence can overcome even the greatest challenges. Their place is now recognized among advanced species. A quiet cheer filled the observation area where humans stood. Arun, Lian, and Dr. Rana exchanged smiles. This moment was not only a personal victory. It was a victory for all of humanity, a proof that the species could face challenges beyond imagination and emerge stronger. As the humans prepared to leave, Riller spoke once more. This recognition is not the end. It is the beginning. There will be new challenges, new knowledge, and new journeys. You have proven yourselves capable. The stars are yours to explore. Treat them with wisdom, and you will go far. Arun looked out at the chamber windows, seeing distant stars twinkling in the endless darkness. He felt a sense of hope, not just for himself, but for all of humanity. The universe was vast, full of mysteries, and now it was within their reach. Lian placed a hand on his shoulder. We came for a machine, she said softly, but we found a future. Dr. Rana nodded. And that future is only just beginning. The humans left the chamber, carrying with them the rebuilt warp engine and the knowledge that they had proven themselves. The Veyrons watched silently, aware that a new chapter in galactic history had begun. Humanity had arrived, not with fear, but with courage, unity, and wisdom. The stars were now within reach, and the galaxy would never be the same.